Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to the Saturday showcase of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports, presented by APM Music. Today, we've got one of the best games of the season on tap. It's the 6-2 Minnesota Legend versus the 6-2 Tulsa Desperados, and it comes your way momentarily. Neither team turns the ball over much, top 5 in that category. Both teams have 11 touchdowns on the ground, top 3 in the league. Both offenses are top 10 in scoring. Both defenses are top 7 in fewest points allowed. So what could be the separator in the battle for first place in the Central Division? Let's look at the X factors for both teams. Minnesota's got Max Knight up front, 8.5 sacks and 16 tackles for loss. He leads both a run-stopping front and a D-line that can get after the quarterback. Tulsa's got Douglas Brown and Gabriel Manning, both of which could go off at any minute. Who will take the driver's seat in the playoffs? Over the next 2 hours, kick it with us to find out. It's Legend versus Desperados. Tyler Falk and Nate Hall on the call coming up next. On a personal note, we want to say just our prayers, thoughts are with the people of Mississippi after the just dreadful tornadoes last night. People in Tulsa, Oklahoma, here down south where the SFL is headquartered, all know too familiar the destructive power of tornadoes, and it was really, really sad to see that transpire last night. Our thoughts are with you all in Mississippi, and we hope for a speedy recovery from everyone involved. Thank you to the first responders, and yeah, it's always tough to see. We're thinking about you today, Mississippi. Minnesota and Tulsa coming up next.
Week 11 of the SFL on NLSE brings us to Oklahoma, where the stage is set for a titanic clash in the Central Division. It's the Tulsa Desperados and the Minnesota Legend. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. Welcome to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing. What else is amazing is that there is a three-way tie atop that Central Division between these Desperados, Legend, and the Sparrows of Sioux Falls, each sitting at 6-2. With only 4 weeks to go in the season, the win here today will go a long way in deciding who takes the division crown. Joining me in the booth to help break down this contest is Nate Hall. Great to have you here, Nate. We are in for a fantastic, climactic conclusion to this season, and it begins here in Week 11 with Tulsa and Minnesota.
Yes, indeed, Tyler. You want a game that has a lot of playoff implications? Well, you come to the right place, my friend, because this game has them abounding in it. Tulsa and Minnesota, both teams can get it firing on all cylinders in the run game offensively. Both teams can get it going defensively as well. Has a strong D-line on both sides of the ball. We are excited to see what's going to happen in this one here this afternoon.
Minnesota has never lost a game by more than 13 points in franchise history. That loss came last season in Week 7 against these Desperados when Minnesota was at home. Today, they look for revenge. It's the legend. It's the Desperados who are set back deep to return. And here we go from Lucy Red Stadium. Here comes Gabriel Manning on the return. He tries to look near side, but is taken down at the 24-yard line. And that is where the Tulsa offense, led by JQ, will take the field for their first drive of the game.
Yes, indeed, Tyler. And look for their running back, Douglas Brown, to try to get the ball rolling early and often in this one, as he is third in the league with 11 touchdowns overall. But they're going to go out past that this time in the gun first.
Talk more about Brown here in just a moment. Q will look to pass left side. That is caught by Corey Jones, the slot receiver. He picks up 6 yards. And let's introduce you quickly to the rest of that Desperado offense. Of course, we just mentioned the quarterback JQ and the tailback Douglas Brown. Lars Bazar is the rookie fullback with Gabriel Manning, DJ Hume, Corey Jones, and Sonzo Robinson are the wideouts with DJ Bandit at tight end. And on the line at left tackle and left guard is Will Stevens and Phoebe Collins. Two-step drop here from Q, looking near side. Good spinning catch. Running forward for the first down is Hume. He gets to the 40-yard line before being blasted out of bounds.
Great out route ran that time by DJ Hume. Wide open spaces out there to roam in the secondary. Nowhere to be found is that Minnesota defense. Great first down to move the chains.
Still no word yet from Douglas Brown, who's 2 touchdowns away from achieving a tie for his career high in that category. As Q looks near side, that's picked up by Johnny Bravo. Had a pick 6 2 weeks ago versus Atlanta and gets a pick to begin the ball game here in Tulsa.
This Minnesota defense is very opportunistic in their secondary. They had 4 interceptions total 2 weeks ago in their last game they played against Atlanta. As you stated, Johnny Bravo had a pick 6 for one of those interceptions. He comes away early with an early turnover here. Reading the quarterback size the entire way, Q just mistimed that throw and an early interception for Bravo, giving the legend the ball for the first time this evening.
So here comes the quarterback, Johnny Reno, one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league, and that leads to a very low interception total for him, as he'll float this pass out near side, which is caught by the fullback Comisac, but I think one of the D linemen jumped early. So here's R62 with the official call and ruling for the first time today, and indeed, that'll tack Chris Andrews with the infraction. That's a free 5 yards for Minnesota.
Got to stay poised on that D-line if you're going to play this legend offense. You can't be giving them free yards on any kind of down that they run their offense on. Early penalty here and a mistake by the defense.
Backs in the backfield with 3 tight ends. Handoff up the middle, and it's tough sledding for the fullback Comisac. He runs right into a sea of defenders and goes nowhere. Let's meet the rest of that Minnesota offense. Of course, Johnny Bravo is the quarterback with Colin Hart at tailback. And we've already talked about the fullback, Chris Comisac, on the first 2 plays of the ball game. Jay Taylor, Adam Banks, Quag Mam, and Buchanan Simons are the wideouts with Jason France and Christian Bachagalupe at tight end. Another heavy look out of the Minnesota offense. Floater right side. It's Comisac for the 3rd straight play in a row, but this time he goes backward. He is met in the backfield, 1-yard loss, and that brings up a 3rd down.
Very interesting that they ran plays 3 times in a row to Comisac. Maybe they saw something in their scouting this week that they thought they could get past the Tulsa defense. So far, no sledding here early on in this ballgame.
4 wide receivers here on 3rd and 6. Reno near side, caught, first down. Jay Taylor with their catch, and he moves them into the Tulsa half of the field to the 44-yard line.
Great throw by Reno, and a better route ran that time by Jay Taylor to the bottom of the formation, and leads to a first down, moving it inside enemy territory.
Seems like after so many heavy sets, they look to spread the field. They go again now with 3 wide receivers here for Reno. Stepping up in the pocket, it came out of his hand as he was hit in the backfield. Incomplete pass. What a hit on the quarterback, and it's incomplete.
Good thing that ball was moving forward, because had it been ruled a fumble, there was no one else there. Had a defense picked it up, he could have been running. That could have been early disaster there for Minnesota.
So it's 2nd and 10 with 8:08 to go here early on in the ball game. 2 backs in the backfield, 1 wide receiver tucked in tight. The line, Comisac goes up the middle and is folded in by Philadelphia Collins, the linebacker.
And Philadelphia Collins just barreling past the offensive lineman, able to get through to the running back, able to get him after only a 1-yard gain. Nice play by Collins. Look for the all
Minnesota
here.
Go with a 5 wide receiver look. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Looking for the slant pattern. We'll find Adam Banks for first down yardage to the 33.
Yeah, I was saying, look for the all slants here. That's exactly what they ran, and Reno was able to find Banks on one of the slant patterns, able to find him for a first down gain.
So Minnesota's drive continues. 2 of 2 now on 3rd down here on the drive. Reno now looking deep near side, in contested coverage, and brought down for the catch by Taylor.
I was looking at the bottom of the screen at that trio of receivers. There was only 2 defenders on those trio of receivers, meaning there was going to be a mismatch somewhere. And sure enough, wide open down the field. A great catch by Jay Taylor down the field for a first down. Now inside the red zone for the first time today. Let's see if Minnesota can capitalize now inside the 15.
So it's a split back formation. First time inside the red zone. Reno looking right side, caught. Looking upfield as Buchanan. Simons takes it to the 7-yard line.
Good gain of 7. Now inside the 10-yard line. Look for them to go heavy set run maybe down here inside the 10-yard line. They like to get their running backs, both running back and fullback, involved down here.
4 tight end look now on 2nd and short. Looking to throw near side. That's Colin Hart. His first touch of the ball game goes nowhere. It's Collins again on another tackle, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, great job by Philadelphia Collins being able to get out there. Good open field tackle, not allowing Colin Hart to get past him out there in the flats. See what they do here on 3rd and 3.
8 men in the box to counter another heavy look out of Minnesota. Offset eye behind Reno. Tight ends flexed out to the right, hand off Hart. Trying to spin in the interior and is mauled in the backfield. That'll lose yards, and it's 4th down. Good goal line stand from Tulsa.
And that'll be a great tackle for loss this time by the Tulsa linebacker coming in and leading to a 4th down. This is going to be a very defensive game. Both teams not allowing very many points at all on defense.
So out here comes Mickey Malillo. Snap, spot kick is up from 26, and it is good. Minnesota takes their first lead in the ball game. It's 3-0. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. Here comes Manning on a good return. Gets a couple of blocks. Now stretches it left side.
Oh,
Gabriel
wow.
Manning. One man chasing him down. He won't get him. Gabriel Manning scores for Tulsa.
And just like that, Gabriel Manning takes matters into his own hands, well, I should say legs, on the kick return. Following blocker, starts off left, hurdles a would-be tackler, spin move, and gone. No one could catch him after that. Goes the entire length of the field. Oh, that poor guy, number 34 for Minnesota, couldn't catch up with him. That's going to be Daniel Wright trying to keep up, but after Gabriel Manning turns on the Jets, there's just no way. Sayonara, see you later, 6 points.
Gabriel Manning, who is number 1 all-time in kick return touchdowns on kickoffs, notches his 24th of his illustrious career. Snap, spot, and the kick is good from Brooke Beisel, and Tulsa immediately established their presence following the field goal off of a Gabriel Manning kickoff return touchdown.
And how demoralizing is that for Minnesota? They have a long drive put together that goes down, gains 3 points, that takes a little bit of time off the clock, and then Tulsa turns around and gets a kick 6 right away, and right just like that, takes the lead.
So Beisel boots it down for Adam Banks for his return, and Manning, who's also on kickoff duties, will take down the opposing team's kick returner. And Minnesota starts at their own 21-yard line.
Minnesota got to shake that kick 6 off at this point. Got to get back to the grind. They had a good drive last time that ended at 3. Let's see what they can do here on their second drive.
Last drive was a 12-play, nearly 5-minute long drive. We'll see if they can replicate it here. Pressure coming, and Reno gets it off as DeMora was pounding him down. He sits at 7.5 sacks. We were talking on the pregame, or Cameron Irvine was talking on pregame, that Max Knight is sitting there with 8.5 sacks. DeMora sitting at 7.5, right behind him.
Yeah, DeMora almost tied Max Knight right there with that play. Would have had 8.5 after that near sack, but not to be yet. Look for him to get more opportunities, though, as this game progresses.
4 wide on second down. Reno over the middle. That is caught by, I believe that was Banks over the middle. That's a first down to the 35-yard line.
And Banks, nice little inside post pattern, inside slant pattern over the middle, beats the defense, and a nice first down to move the chains once again.
Minnesota early on, not having too much trouble moving the football. But they might have to put together a few more of these long drives to compete against the explosiveness of Tulsa special teams. As Hart gets the call, he gets 4 yards. And now let's introduce you to the rest of that Tulsa defense. Chris Andrews, Jaden Swift, Mike Mello, and Berto DeMora lead the way in the trenches on the D-line. Philadelphia Collins, Miles Gibson, and David Ware are the linebackers, with Cameron Shaw, Jay Rock, and Nate Heslop at corner. And at safety, it's Travis Arthur and Marco Swift. 4 wide here for Reno. He looks deep, floater right side, looking for the tight end, France, and it just was a little bit too lofty, as bringing it back is Swift on the return, and it's an interception for Tulsa.
Yeah, and anytime you have a rainbow throw like that from a quarterback, it gives the defense longer to get underneath that one, to tip it up in the air, which will 9 times out of 10 lead to a second or third defender to be right there to pick it up for the interception. And that was a good tip drill INT for Tulsa to get the ball right back and get it back to their offense.
So now here is Tulsa with their best starting field position of the ball game from Minnesota's 48. Hand up, Brown. Brown can't do anything for you on that play, as taking him down is Axel Raven, the outside linebacker.
Axel Raven coming in for a tackle for loss, and that's going to be a great one for him as he's got a. Sorry, I've lost it mid-thought. Go ahead, Tyler.
Well, let's see here. We'll see if you can contain your thoughts on the next play as it's 2nd and 11. Q stepping up in the pocket, looking over the middle. Nice outreaching grab from Manning. That'll move the chains. First down, Desperados.
Good throw by Q. Able to find Manning right there over the middle, past a couple of defenders from Minnesota. Another first down, and just like that, Tulsa on their offense starting to move the ball very well down the field inside Minnesota territory now.
And the interception, under a minute gone in the first quarter. Now they're looking over the middle again, this time incomplete. The stop route ran by Manning. Maybe thought he was going to have to come back a little bit further for the ball. The ball will just harmlessly fall to the turf.
Looked like there was a couple of defenders there too. Johnny Bravo, good coverage down there on Manning that time. Had a pass deflection on that one as well. So good job on defense to bat that one away.
Now here comes Tulsa and a heavy look. Offset eye behind Q. Q will look to throw left side out route for Douglas Brown, the tailback. And Brown can only get 4 yards, and that brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd down, and a big 3rd down for Minnesota's defense. If they're going to try to hold this to a one-score game still, they've got to get off the field and not allow Tulsa to move the chains.
Here on 3rd down, Q will go under center. He's got 4 wide receivers here on the play. Deep drop. Looking underneath to Brown, has to make something happen, and it can only get back to the line of scrimmage as he's taken down by Tigga Clay and company, and that'll send out Brooke Beisel for a long field goal.
And that was a good job, again, by Minnesota's defense. Good coverage down the field. Anytime you have a quarterback deep drop like that, you know they're going to want to try to throw it deep, but there was nothing open downfield, so he had to just dump it off to Douglas Brown, actually picked up no yards, maybe just a half yard on the play, and it brings up 4th down.
This one should be a 45.5-yard try from the right hash. Snap spot. Kick is up, and it is good from 45 officially, and Tulsa take a 7-point lead. It's now 10-3.
So job well done for this Minnesota defense, bending but not breaking, only giving up the 3 off of that turnover that Bravo threw on that interception, not Bravo, excuse me. Reno threw on that interception last drive, and only giving up 3, and now their offense has a chance to tie it up on their next drive.
That 6-play, 2-minute drive by Tulsa results in a field goal as we take a look at both teams' rushing numbers, and it was said at the beginning, both defenses don't like to stop the run, and we can see it here. Only a combined total of 6 rushing yards in the ball game as Banks gets the return to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, and this we knew from the very get-go, from the very outset, even in the pregame, it's going to be a very defensive game. Both teams high on interceptions. Actually, this Tulsa defense has a very high pass deflection to interception ratio, and we'll get to that after this play.
Hart on the give, right side, dragged down by his ankles by Heslop, gain of 4. Let's get back to the interception to pass deflection ratio, which is right around 50%, if I remember correctly, partner.
Yeah, it's 30 pass deflections, but 21 interceptions. So, yeah, which is really high, the highest in the SFL by far. So very opportunistic when this defense gets the opportunity to get their hands on the ball in the secondary.
We'll see if Reno can find safe hands of this one. Wobbler over the middle, and it's picked up by Swift again! 2 picks in the first quarter for Marco Swift.
And almost on cue, Marco Swift says, if I get my hands on one, I'm not going to drop it and make it into a pass deflection. I'm going to hold on to it and give the ball right back to my offense. This secondary just opportunistic whenever it comes to getting INTs preferred over pass deflections. Great job sitting back there in coverage and getting the INT once again.
Second straight drive for Tulsa, which starts in Minnesota field position. Pass over the middle. That one is caught. Good pitch and catch. That one finds Hume to the 27.
And Marco Swift's second interception of the game leads to a big play on the very first play on their offense. Right down the middle, deep throw to DJ Hume already after one play inside the 30-yard line. Just talk about flipping field position right here.
I formation with 3 wide receivers here for Tulsa. 3-3 nickel look out of Minnesota on first down. They'll go with a run with Brown through the middle, and it takes the safeties of Daniel Wright and Derek Meerkat to bring him down at the 19.
Good gain of about 8 yards down here inside the 20, inside the red zone now. And Douglas Brown, they like to go to him whenever they're at this part of the field as we approach the end of the first quarter here.
It doesn't look like Tulsa will take any further action in the first quarter, and that will leave us with a 7-point margin between the Desperados in the lead and the Minnesota Legend behind. We'll come back. More action from Lucid Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. SFL on NLSC. Welcome back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tyler Falk and Nate Hall on the call here from Lucy Red Stadium. As Tulsa's in the red zone to begin the second quarter, they'll hand off to Douglas Brown, who goes near side and nearly broke out of a tackle, but does get to the 12-yard line and moves the chains for the Desperados.
And right before the break, I had mentioned that Tulsa loves to go to their running back, Douglas Brown, inside this area of the field. And on cue almost, Douglas Brown rips off about a 10-yard gain right down here to get it inside the red zone once again. Let's see if they continue to ride the gravy train down here inside the 15-yard line.
He had a total of 7 yards in the first quarter. He already eclipses that with 8 here on that run alone. Pass to Hume goes near side. He takes a defender out of bounds with him at the 7.
Well, they go away from him this time. They go to DJ Hume, who had a big first quarter through the air, now up to 36 yards on 3 catches after he had that deep reception of 22 yards in the first quarter, but a good completion inside the 10-yard line now.
Minnesota need a stop. Handoff.
Yes,
Brown got a couple of blocks and then is wrapped up by Daniel Wright. At the line to gain, they'll say he was a yard shy.
Might be worth the challenge. I don't know if he was close enough to get that first down, but they're going to call him about a half yard short at the 2-yard line. Brings up 3rd and short. This Minnesota defense needs to come up with a... Oh, look. Oh, goal line defense here. Look for the wide open receiver.
Q looking right side, double coverage, and they knock it aside instead. So it looked like a mismatch. Axel Raven denies Tulsa a touchdown.
And a great job by Axel Raven. There was an opening back there, but not enough loft on the ball by JQ. DJ Hume was open in the back corner of the end zone behind the defense, but a great jump by Axel Raven. There was 2 defenders there. Not enough loft on the ball by Q equals a good 3rd down stop by Minnesota, and just a 3-point attempt upcoming here for Tulsa.
Looks like the offense is sticking on the field instead. Offset eye behind Q. Goal line set here from Minnesota. Will Q snap it? They've got Douglas Brown in the backfield, one of the best in the league. No. Q will take a timeout. That's their first of 3. And now Brooke Bryson will take the field. And, well, to get us through the motions, basically. It's a chip shot from here.
I wouldn't have hated the decision to actually snap that ball, honestly, because it's a matter of a half a yard, and you've got Douglas Brown, who, as I've stated, is 3rd in the league in touchdowns with 11. You've got a workhorse back there that can get you those yards, and even if you don't get it, you're giving, you're making Minnesota go basically a length of the field, about 98 yards to get a touchdown. So I wouldn't have hated the decision there.
And your defense has intercepted Johnny Reno on back-to-back drives, and so it would make a little bit of sense to try and go for it instead. Brooke Beisel knocks it home from 19 yards. It's a 10-point ball game, 13-3. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through the 30th for Season 21's kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the Convention Alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast. Reserve your special group rate today. We'll see you there. Here comes Adam Banks, about 3 yards deep in his own end zone on the return. He tries to go through the middle of the return team and gets swallowed up at the 23-yard line. And out comes Johnny Reno, who needs to shake off the rust a little bit off the bye week from a week ago and get back on the horse. He went from having the least interception in the league to now being right up there with JQ in terms of interceptions.
Yeah, he just needs to shake off those 2 interceptions and get back to work. We know he got the arm to do so. We just got to get back on it.
3rd best completion percentage coming into the contest as that one finds a Minnesota legend. That's a good pickup for a first down.
Yeah, that one's going to go to the, number 89, it looked like. But that's a backup, I believe.
5th string wide receiver Ray Matson there, Nate, as he is seldomly gets his way on the field, but he makes good use of his time on that play. 1st and 10 now here for the legend. Offset eye behind Reno. Reno under pressure.
Oh.
Down he goes. There's Berto Zamora. He finally gets his sack.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they give him a full sack or a half one on that one, because he was back there with about 2 or 3 other. Yeah, they'll probably give him a half sack there because it was him as well as Mike Mello back there that met at the same time. So he'll still be a half sack away from Max Knight on that sack total.
That's Mike Mello's now totaling in 4 total sacks on the ball game, and there's a 3rd interception on ensuing drives, and this time it's not Marco Swift who takes it in, I believe that's Lee Palmer.
Wow. Lee Palmer comes in as a backup CB and just takes that one away, and things go from bad to worse for this Minnesota offense. Now 3 interceptions on the day for Reno, and perfect field position now for Tulsa to extend this lead early second quarter.
third straight drive with an interception. Third straight drive where it starts on Minnesota's 40-yard line. Hand up, Brown, first down, Tulsa just having their way with Minnesota at the moment.
And I was looking at that run by Brown, and number 44, the fullback right there, had a block on a defender. And I think had Douglas Brown followed the block to the outside, he might still be running. Instead, he chose to go inside, got tackled at the 28. So maybe a poor choice to take that run to the inside right there. But good run nonetheless.
Linebacker show blitz, floater, diving attempt at the catch, rules incomplete. France was flying, I believe. No, that's actually that was France. Or
nope.
Lars Bizarre. Again,
yep.
Tight
Lars
end,
Bizarre.
fullback playing Bizarre.
Lars Bizarre playing Superman on that play, trying to dive for it downfield, but goes off of his fingertips and incomplete, and thankfully didn't find the hands of a Minnesota defender in the process.
Usually we see Jason France pulling off those kind of moves. Good to see the fullback getting involved, especially in his rookie season. Hand up around, wide open hole in front of him. Nice spin move for extra yardage. He's into the 16, and Tulsa are right back in the red zone.
Douglas Brown, show off your moves. Show us your skills. You go do every week anyways. Just do it some more. Wide open spaces along that offensive line. And one last spin move off to the left to get those extra 2 to 3 yards inside the 20-yard line. A second time today we've seen them, third time today we've seen them inside the red zone and moving the ball at will.
Q over the middle, that one's picked up in the end zone. Finally some backbone from Minnesota's defense as Meerkat takes that one away.
Derek Meerkat, the strong safety, gets their defensive spark. Playing center field back there, reading the quarterback size the entire way as he gets his first interception of the ball game. You saw on the replay, he just had eyes for JQ, and JQ just didn't see him, looking for the receiver that was running the deep post route to the inside, and Meerkat takes it away in the end zone.
Third time's the charm for Minnesota's defense. And now here comes Reno, and Reno is destroyed in the backfield by Mello, his 5th sack of season 20.
Mello in the backfield, 1.5 sacks on the game this evening. Just absolutely just pummeling the offensive lineman and then pummeling Johnny Reno for good measure for another sack to his stat line.
Nothing mellow about that hit, as it's a sidearm sling left side for the fullback Kamasak, and Kamasak is hit hard by Travis Arthur, and Minnesota just has one gear, and that's reverse.
Yeah, they need to get their transmissions checked after going backwards the first 2 plays of this drive, because they need to find the drive button on their stick shift and go forwards.
Third and long. Q, deep shot, middle into double coverage, nearly caught, but it will fall incomplete. Heslop on coverage. And for the first time today, partner, we're going to see a punt after all that we've gone through in the first quarter and a half of play.
Yeah, but at this stage in the ball game, would you call that a positive for Minnesota? Because they didn't throw an interception, they actually get to punt this one away and maybe make Tulsa start from further back instead of closer.
Also thought about setting the pressure and instead just play contain, as the punt is away from Ryan Platt to Manning, and Manning met immediately at the 44, and another drive to start in plus territory for the Desperados. We'll see if they can take advantage of it this time around.
Yeah, still starting from Minnesota's side of the field, so maybe not as big of a positive as I thought originally on that punt. However, let's see if Minnesota's defense has another stop in them after that interception on the last drive.
2 wideouts left, offset eye in the direction of those 2 wide as Hugh will look to throw near side. Penalty marker is down as Hume pulls that in for a pickup of about 9. We'll see if that stands. R62 with the call. So it was offsides on Max Knight on the line. Instead, they'll take the reception by Hume. That's about 8.5 to 9 yards.
Yeah, so they elected to take the yards there. It would have been 1st and 5 had they taken the penalty instead, but it's going to be 2nd and about 2 here instead after that great completion by Hume.
I formation behind Q. They'll run with Brown through the middle. He breaks up one tackle, enough for him to get the first down. Yardage to the 33 of Minnesota.
And following his fullback Lars Bazar right there, just a great block right up front, allowing him to pick up about 3 after he only needed 2 to get the first down. Great push up front.
Another solid drive here from the Desperados. 3 wide receivers. Offset eye behind Q. 5-step drop. Q looking near side. That's taken away. And back on the return goes Rick Evans. Rick Evans is all alone. 20-10. Touchdown, Minnesota. Rick Evans, his 2nd interception of his career, goes to the barn.
Not only is that Rick Evans' 2nd interception of his career, but ladies and gentlemen, let's say a big congrats for his first pick 6. He had eyes for JQ and said, "Sir, I'm going to take that ball away and I'm going to smoke the rest of your offense because I'm going to take this myself and go the entire field length for the 6 points to get my team right back in this ball game." Rick Evans, 6 points. Have yourself a play, getting your team back within 3 points, pending this extra point.
So Tulsa has gone now 50% on the field when they start from Minnesota territory from points or an interception. And this time the interception comes back to bite them. It's now only a 3-point ball game.
We had a kick 6 from Tulsa. Special teams played a part. We had a pick 6 from Minnesota. Defense playing a part. Partner, we're in for a big ride here this evening.
No offense has scored a touchdown. It's been special teams and defense as here's another kickoff from Malillo. Here comes Manning, who had the kick 6 earlier, looking to try and do it again. But good containment there from Daniel Wright to deny him a big return. He gets to the 28-yard line, and here comes Tulsa. For the first time since early on in the first quarter, they start from their own side of the 50.
And now I think the momentum, the big MO, fully on the side of Minnesota's defense as you see Max Knight gearing up on that defensive line, trying to get good position to get in the backfield on this play.
I didn't flex off the line to the right. Hugh going to look for Brown in the backfield. Brown cannot spin out of Axel Raven's tackle. No gain.
Axel Raven having a big first half here as he gets the good position on that play. Has 3 tackles early in this one and a good upfield tackle out there in the flats.
Two backs in the backfield now for Tulsa as the defense backs off on the wide receiver. Slant over the middle, and Q is hit as he throws. Max Knight tried to say night to Q, but just couldn't get there early enough.
Man, Knight, he could smell the sack as he was coming in hot on JQ, but not to be as Q just barely gets rid of that one on time.
Sun must have been up somewhere. As Knight unable to finish off Q in time. 4 wide receivers now for Tulsa on 3rd and 10. Q deep over the middle, bobbled and picked! 3rd straight drive, which ends up in Minnesota's hands, and now Minnesota starting plus territory.
And after Reno threw 3 interceptions the first quarter, now it's Q who's thrown 2 interceptions on back-to-back drives. And it is after the tip by B.J. Loveless, the inside linebacker, over the middle, the great interception that time made on almost at the midfield stripe, and now Minnesota's cooking here in the second quarter.
12th drive of the ball game, and it's just gotten even crazier. Fullback dive, Comisac up the middle. He gets taken down by Demora after a pickup of 1. Let's go back to the drives real quick, partner. Interception, field goal, interception, field goal, interception. Another field goal from Tulsa. Back-to-back interceptions by both teams. Punt, pick 6, interception. And now here we are. Reno under pressure, floater left side, balled and cannot come up with the pick. Oh, that was close. J-Rock nearly had it.
Oh, J-Rock, he probably thinks he should have had that one after it jumps off the hands of Buchanan Simons. I think Rock wants that one back.
Four wide receivers now on third down here from Minnesota. Reno looking over the middle into triple coverage, and he is lucky that is not his 4th interception of the ball game. So Minnesota does nothing after the interception and will punt after 3 downs.
Good coverage by the linebacker Miles Gibson over the middle. Looked like they were going for Quig Mam on that deep post pattern, trying to get behind the defense there, but Tulsa's defense was having none of it as Gibson gets the pass deflection and a punt. Another rare punt that we've seen here in the first half upcoming for Minnesota.
Will Tulsa send the pressure? They've got it all lined up for it. Ryan Platt back deep to punt, and that is blocked. The Tulsa special teams comes alive.
You called it, partner. Lined up to get the pressure on was Tulsa. It looked like that might have been blocked that time by J-Rock, who nearly came up with the INT on the two plays ago on defense. Came in on the on the punt block that time, giving their offense great field position here.
Hope you're enjoying the game back at home on NLSC. We've got a good one. Q over the middle. It's bobbled and dropped. Ball had some hang time on it after the deflection. Incomplete.
Oh, another pass deflection. This time goes to Daniel Wright, the free safety, and nobody could get back there to come up again and get the tip drill interception this time for Minnesota. So Tulsa gets away with one. JQ gets away with one right there.
Now he'll go under center. Eye behind him with Manning. Off to his right, hand off Brown through the middle. Stutter steps behind his O-line and takes it to the 38-yard line. That's a pickup of 3 before he's brought down by Griffin and company.
Yeah, and this is probably a good idea to just try to go back to your halfback on second down. Try to see if you can pick up a few yards because your quarterbacks are getting a little bit shaky out there, throwing pass deflections and interceptions. Good 3 yards by Brown.
Oh, they're definitely flustered. They're now a combined 16 of 33. Huge, short, underneath. That's a safe catch, and that will move the sticks.
And a great catch that time by Sanzo Robinson. His first one of the evening as he just sits right there amidst the zone that Minnesota brought on defense, and a first down inside the 30-yard line.
Now they come out with a spread look. 5 wide receivers, Q alone in the gun. Minnesota sent 4, pass over the middle is caught near the line to gain. They will say he did not get enough. Corey Jones on the reception for 9.5.
Looked like Tulsa came out this time in an all slants pattern, and Minnesota just couldn't get good coverage on that one as Q finds Jones for the gain of 9 and about 3/4 that time. Looks like that ball is right on that first down stripe. Try to get this one. I think they go to the running back here.
Maybe he wanted to go to Hogwarts, 9.5 yards on a football field. Maybe that works just the same as platform 9 3/4. Brown first down carry.
Yep, just give it to your running back, Douglas Brown, who's old faithful, as they say, able to get the half yard they need for the first down. Now inside the red zone for the 4th time today. Last time they were down here, though, they threw an interception. Let's look to see if they can get a first down and even a scoring drive.
But we'll find out when we come back after the 2-minute warning. You're watching the SFL on NLSE. Don't go anywhere. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Desperados 13, Minnesota 10. Q to the end zone. It's tipped and incomplete. Wright just got a hand on it before he made contact with the receiver.
Daniel Wright, who had an interception already earlier in this first half, almost had his second one had he been able to hold on to that one. JQ living dangerously here in the first half, has already thrown 4 in this first half, interceptions that is, coming up with a 2nd and 10 after he gets away with one right there.
Q in the gun, backs to his left and right with 3 wideouts. He's going to look again to the end zone. Corner route nearly picked off again. Lee, that's Johnny Bravo in coverage. 3rd down.
Bravo in coverage. All these secondary members who have an interception already in this ball game. DJ Hume, the intended target, was well covered by that defense, and Minnesota's defense standing tall and up to the task so far in this first half.
5 wide receivers from the 16-yard line. Q gonna look over the middle. That is intercepted again in the red zone. Bravo, bravo, as he picks up Q for his 5th interception of the game.
Bravo, go ahead and take a bow after that interception, ending that drive by Tulsa with back-to-back interceptions on the last 2 drives. Bravo now with 2 interceptions this ball game. Q has thrown 5 in this first half. Just dismal quarterback play by this Tulsa side here in the first 20 minutes of this game.
Swing pass left side, Comisac gains only 3, and that can be said too about Reno as well. It has not been a day for solid quarterback play here today. Reno coming in with the 3rd best completion percentage, but as we've been mentioning all game long, Reno at this point only 8 of 16 at 50% passing the football today. All slants over the middle. It's Jason Prance, the tight end, who will get to the 24-yard line for a Minnesota 1st down.
Yeah, Minnesota here with a minute left. You got to think that they're going to want to try to at least tie this one before the half is over. If they continue to move the ball at this pace, they do have all three timeouts and a good first couple of plays here on this drive to get that job done.
Four tight end look, swing pass left side. It's a screen for Hart. Nothing doing. Taken down a yard behind the line. Under 45 to go in the first half.
Not going the right way on that one as Hart gets dropped for a yard loss on that one. Clock's still running. Minnesota showing no interest in stopping the clock at this point with 30 seconds left. Look to the bottom, though, on this play.
Under 30 to go. 2nd and 11. Bunch set near side. Reno looks left side. That is caught and running out of bounds is Adam Banks that stops the clock with 22 seconds to go. And Minnesota still have all three timeouts.
Yeah, 22 seconds and all three timeouts. I think everything all kind of banks on this play, no pun intended, after that last catch was made by Adam Banks, on how this next play turns out on third down if they do better clock management here in the last 20 seconds or so.
3rd and 4. From their own 30-yard line. Middle linebacker and outside linebacker showing blitz. They'll go a run with Hart. Left side. Hart's got blockers in front of him. Hart still going left side. Inside the 45 and down to the 42. They have 12 seconds to go. All three timeouts and they hurry back to the line.
They should have called.
7 seconds to go.
Oh, they should have called
Linebacker showing blitz
timeout.
again. 3 seconds to go. Minnesota call their first timeout. And now it all depends on whether or not the wind is blowing in their direction or whether or not we'll see a Hail Mary.
I think at this point in the first half, you're going to see Hail Mary, but they honestly should have called that timeout as soon as Hart got tackled after that long run. That long run threw the Tulsa defense off. They're expecting pass the entire way, thinking they would go with past the rest of their drive, but Hart catches them off guard. Let's see what this Hail Mary play can garner here.
Reno gonna look to throw, pressure coming, he gets taken down. It's a sack to end the half in a game which has seen 8 turnovers here today when the offenses only had 25 combined coming into today. It's a close one, as we expected. 13-10, we send it back to SFL headquarters in Cameron Irvine to break down what a wacky first half it's been from Lucy Red Stadium.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report. Back at SFL Studios, Tulsa leads Minnesota 13-10. If you like passing touchdowns or passing yards, well, this may not be the game for you. No offensive touchdowns so far today in this one. We've got a pick six. We've got a kick return touchdown from Gabriel Manning. We've got everything but offense as these two defenses are playing lights out at the top of the Central Division. Minnesota 6-2, Tulsa 6-2. We've at least gotten a close one here on Next Level Sports, although it hasn't been the game that we expected to get. Tulsa's the real deal. Nate and Tyler talked early stages of this game about Tulsa's really just insane ability to pick off passes relative to passes they've just been able to knock down. They've only improved on that as this game has gone along, but it's Minnesota's defense. 5 interceptions by 4 different players in the first half, including the pick six from Rick Evans, the 4th different player for Minnesota this season to have a defensive touchdown. It's been a wild game for Minnesota and Tulsa, and we'll see what these second half adjustments are from both of these squads as they look to go to 7-2. Hope that a Baltimore or an Atlanta or a Vegas slips up and potentially gives the winner of this game first round bye status with 3 weeks to go in the regular season. Earlier today, the Fort Worth Toros, the Houston game just going to the half here. We'll get you updates on that here momentarily. But the Fort Worth Toros, who are just trailing a half a game to Mexico City to start the day in the South, picked up another win, 37-23 over the Canton Classics. That drops Canton to 3-6. Fort Worth at 6-3 actually now takes the division lead over the Mexico City Aztecs. The two teams are tied at 6-3, but Fort Worth's win over Mexico City a few weeks ago now has them leading the division record in the South. And so it's the Fort Worth Toros now leading the South Division here with 3 weeks to go. Mexico City has a chance to take the lead back momentarily. They play Queen City tomorrow, who is winless, but the Toros are moving on up the standings. The London Knights won their 5th straight game. They beat the Alamo City Artillery in a surprising game. Artillery were favored at home by 3.5. London clumps them 30-17. The Knights now 6-3. They are in full control of the North Division. In fact, with 3 games to go and up 3 games, they've nearly clinched it over the Canton Classics, who have fallen apart. Motor City is playing today in Houston, but they trailed 21-3 with a 2-7 record. They're done. Houston is looking to win its 4th straight game. So let's take a look at the standings as they stand. You've got the first round byes over on the right, your top 4 seeds coming into this afternoon, and then you've got the top 6 wild cards. You can see as we're going to update this graphic here for you. Just a second, apologies. Must have hit the wrong button. But you can see there that Fort Worth is now in 8th place, dropping Mexico City all the way down to 10th. Indy actually has the SOV over the Aztecs. They are 9th. London has surged into 7th place. Minnesota and Tulsa still tied there at 5 and 6, just on the outside looking in of those first round byes. Arizona and Baltimore play each other on Monday night. We'll get to that game here in a moment. And then towards the bottom of the standings, we got a big game later this evening in the SFL between San Diego and Carolina. It's the last 2 out right now. San Diego is the 13 seed. Carolina is the 14 seed, and they will play each other this evening. Alamo City falls to 5-5. If Houston wins today, which they are absolutely in the driver's seat to do, they will also join this outside looking in party with a 5-5 record. Both Alamo City and Houston have the latest byes in the league in Week 12, and then they play each other or Week 13 rather. They play each other the last week of the regular season. That game could mean everything for the Artillery and the Headhunters there at the bottom of the South. So that's a look at the standings across the league right now. Some big movement, the biggest movement out of Fort Worth and London with their victories earlier today. Monday Night Impact, Monday on the SFL YouTube channel. It is a Season 19 championship rematch between Arizona and Baltimore. Arizona is your current number 1 seed. They are 8-1. Baltimore is 7-1. They met in the championship game last season. Arizona lost in overtime on a face mask call on an interception return that caused Baltimore to get into field goal range, and the Vultures ended up winning the game. It was a crazy game, instant classic. Arizona returning to that scene of the crime. It could mean home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The playoffs either are going to run through Baltimore or Arizona. Most likely the winner of this game gets that nod, and that's a big deal in the SFL, especially getting the first round bye and then not having to go on the road. It's the ultimate advantage heading into the postseason. So that's a huge game. Kickoff at 8:15 p.m. Eastern here in a couple days on Monday, March 27th. This week in the SFL pregame with Paul Sarp and I will precede it at 7:15 p.m. Eastern on SFL YouTube. And you can catch This Week in the SFL on Next Level Sports as well every Wednesday afternoon, where you'll also see a re-air of this Minnesota and Tulsa game. But if you missed any action throughout the course of the week, you can catch it on Next Level Sports Wednesday afternoons, so you won't want to miss that. So that's Arizona and Baltimore coming up on Monday. So big game tonight with Carolina and San Diego. Portland also plays Seattle as the Portland Fleet try and get back in it. But for now, it's Tulsa 13 and Minnesota 10. I think we may see a little bit more offense in the second half after the offenses adjust to what the defenses have shown us today, which has been essentially perfection. Tulsa leads by 3 thanks to Gabriel Manning's kick return touchdown. I'll see you back here for postgame. But after the break, Nate and Tyler back at Lucy Red Stadium for your second half. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report. We'll be back after this.
To Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing. And we'll get to kick it off once more here from Tulsa's. We'll see if anyone can stop the amazing defensive display by these two teams as Adam Banks gets the return to the 21-yard line. That is where Minnesota's offense will take over. Tyler Falk and Nate Hall here on the call. Welcome you back to Oklahoma. It's been a defensive slugfest. 8 total turnovers combined from the two clubs as the offenses have yet to really solidify any momentum, and Minnesota gets their first crack at it here in the second half. Offset eye behind Johnny Reno. He'll hand off to Comisac. Seen a lot of the fullback dive or just the Minnesota fullback Comisac all game long. His 6th rushing attempt.
Yeah, and starting off with a fullback run right there on first down, and looking to maybe get the running game more involved. We didn't see a whole lot out of the running game in the first half. Maybe trying to get them more involved here in the third quarter.
Art gets out of Demora's tackle and spins upfield to the line. Cannot get past it. Good containment there on the outside by Travis Arthur to deny Hart the first down.
Yeah, but I like this strategy, though, by Minnesota. You know, you got a Reno, who's quarterback, who was a little bit shaky there in the first half, threw 3 interceptions, 60% completion percentage. Try to get the ball to your fullback and halfback here.
Comisac, nothing doing. Denied at the line by Mello, and he has been all over the place today.
Yes, he has, including a couple of sacks to his record, and nowhere to go for Hart on that play, bring up fourth down, quick 3 and out for Minnesota.
That's not what the doctor ordered for the Legend. They get another chance to punt this one away. Ryan Platt back at his own 15-yard line, no pressure on him this time around. Last time he punted, it was blocked. Manning on the return gets just demolished by Ray Matson at the 38-yard line, and now it's Tulsa's turn for their offense to take the field here in the half.
Good defensive stand on the first drive of the second half by Tulsa. Let's see if Minnesota's defense can match that and try to get Tulsa's offense off the field.
So they'll come out in the gun with 3 wide receivers. Q gonna look to throw. Looking over the middle, that is dropped. Looks like Corey Jones had it, but the hit from Axel Raven jarred the ball free. It's incomplete.
Yeah, and I maybe would have thought they would have tried to go to the running game a little bit more. Neither one of these running games got a whole lot going in that first half, but they Tulsa elects to throw it here on first down. Good bang play to jar the ball loose. Big hit by Axel Raven on that first down play.
Now they come in an offset eye, still with 3 wide receivers. Hand up the middle for Brown. Brown gets through the hole and then is sent backward a couple of yards, but forward progress gains him about 5 to the 42.
Good initial blocking at the line. A nice juke move off to the left to get a couple extra yards, but good pursuit to the ball by the defense, closing in on him before he gets too far down the field.
Corners on the outside, pressure the top 2 wide receivers, Manning and Hume, as Q is going to look near side. That is incomplete as well. Rick Evans, who had his first career pick 6, gets in on the hit that jars the ball free, and this is quite surprising, partner. Dueling 3 and outs to begin the half. How mundane is that?
After the big fireworks we saw on defense with interceptions galore in that first half by both teams, we opened up the second half with a pair of 3 and outs, and back the ball goes to Minnesota.
Fireworks have turned into crickets as Banks hauls that one in for a fair catch from the 22-yard line. Maybe now, after just some feeling out of one another after the intermission, maybe now we start to see some more fireworks as Minnesota take over on their own 22-yard line, down by 3. They keep games close. Now they want to try and pull ahead against the Desperados as Reno goes under center, 2 backs behind him and 3 wide receivers. Back to pass, 2-step drop, 3 men in the vicinity, but in the area was Collins, and Collins leapt for it but couldn't bring in the interception.
Yep, Collins had a perfect shot to take that one away, and as you stated, just gets the pass deflection instead of the interception. We've seen 3 interceptions and 3 pass deflections, which is right around that 50% interception to pass deflection ratio that they carry by this Tulsa defense.
3 wide receivers bunched near side, tight end flexed out to the right. Looking near side, that is caught for a gain of about 3 yards to Taylor. which will bring up another third down.
And going back to that interception to touchdown ratio that we were looking at in the first half, Tulsa's defense started out on the plus side of that interception pass deflection ratio at 3-0, but they've let a couple of interceptions get away.
It's coming as Reno gets out of it. He has room to run in front of him, but decides to stay back and gets hit in the process. Berto Namora, another sack to his ledger.
And that should put him, after that half sack earlier in this first half, should have put him ahead of Max Knight now on the sack total on the season, and should put him at 9 total sacks on the season right now.
And so Platt will punt again. This time from his own 10-yard line. Manning at his own 40, looks through the middle, taken down at the 44, nothing doing. And we go back to SFL headquarters from a game break from Houston. Cam?
Let me show you someone who knows a little bit about offense, Tyler. DR Sim just became the first SFL receiver to hit 20,000 career yards on this touchdown. Houston about to win 4 in a row. They are burying the V8s 35-3 in the third on SFL YouTube. Back to you. Congrats to the doctor.
A hearty congratulations to Mr. Sim. Excellent career. Congratulations on 20,000 yards as the pass left side here in Tulsa is caught for a gain of about 7 to Hume.
Yeah, let me add, after that nice catch by Hume, another congratulations to the doctor himself, DR Sim. 20,000, just an unprecedented number of receiving yards after his lengthy and well-earned career here in the SFL.
2nd and 3. Might we see a first down in the third quarter? You're going to look to throw deep over the middle. That's caught by Manning. Who else? And he's down to Minnesota's 23.
Manning, the number 1 receiver here in Tulsa, with only his 2nd completion, however, in this ball game, as they had earlier in the first half been looking to Hume more often than not. But a deep throw gets behind the defense of Minnesota, and Manning gets his 2nd completion. Good for a gain of 26 yards on that play, now almost to the 20-yard line, but good field position right here on this next play.
Like this gun split formation with 2 wide receivers out right side. We'll see what they draw up on this play. Looking out route near side. That is caught with room to work for Brown. And I don't know about that. They'll say he got a first down, but I think I saw his right foot step out of bounds before the line to gain.
We'll see if they challenge it for Minnesota here, but maybe we saw 2 different things. I saw a good job by him to stay in bounds barely as he goes upfield. Usually their momentum carries him out of bounds after an out route like that, but good job to turn upfield and get that first down.
1st and 10 now from the 11. Pass deep shot is nearly ticked off by Wright as Manning kicks dirt.
Yeah, and right. Oh, just another pass deflection added to his stat sheet. But two drives down here for Tulsa has ended in INTs. Hugh trying to make sure that's not 3 here in this ball game.
Maybe a safer formation, a I form here on 2nd and 10. Brown gets the call on the ground. He gets through one, spins away from another, and gets into the end zone. It's our first offensive touchdown on the ball game.
Well, that's one way to make sure your drive doesn't end in an INT. Just hand it off to your running back instead. No interceptions be thrown that way. Nice job to break a tackle right there at the 7-yard line. Another spin move to get around the tackle by Brown. And off to the left into the end zone is Brown for his first touchdown of the game. 12 total by him on the season. And a 2-score lead now midway through this third quarter.
Here comes Brooke Beisel to tack home the extra point to make it a 10-point ball game. High snap corralled by DeShera Hawkins, and the extra point is up and good. 10 points, 20-10, Tulsa in the lead. When we come back, more football from Tulsa. You're watching the SFL on Next Level Sports. 6:05 left to go in the third quarter from Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tyler Falk and Nate Hall welcome you back here into the booth as we are underway once again after the kickoff from Beisel, and Adam Banks takes the return from there, the 5-yard line, trying to force a man down with an outstretched arm, but cannot do it. He's taken down at the 24, and Minnesota needs something. They need a spark here on offense, Nate. Nothing happening so far in this half.
Yeah, this half so far, back-to-back 3-and-outs. Nothing going their way offensively for sure. They need something to move the chains. First things first, something to move the chains, and then they can work on moving it down the field.
Rewind with a tight end on the line. Here on first down, they go with Hart up the middle as he tries to find a hole. He's only able to muster up 4 yards as he's brought down. Take a look at his numbers today. Not a whole lot doing. About 17 yards after that recent run, only 5 attempts on the ground.
Yeah, only an average of 3.4 per carry. Hasn't gotten into the end zone at all on the ground. It's just not a game that he'd like to remember for sure.
It's been the fullback getting more of the love. 7 carries for Chris Komisak. Floater right side for Hart. Hart spins away and picks up the first down of the half.
Yeah, nice job that time by Hart to get that ball, that reception out there on the right side, out there in the flats. Turn up field. Nice spin move to get around a would-be tackler before he's tackled out there past the first down marker by Miles Gibson. But good job to move the chains.
The down marker flips back to 1 as Tulsa put a lot of men in the box as Reno looks right side, and falling down and hauling that one in is the fullback Komisak for 5 yards.
And despite having 7 attempts for 2 yards, Komisak does have his second reception now for 8 yards as well, so he can bring a little bit of a spark in the receiving game as well as the rushing game.
2nd and 5 now here for the Legend from their own 40-yard line. 2 right out to the right, 1 left as Hart gets the call up the middle. Nothing doing. Only able to gain 2 yards before Philadelphia Collins comes up with his, let's say that's his 7th tackle of the ball game. No, scratch that. His 5th tackle of the ball game.
Yeah, 5th tackle by Philadelphia Collins. Just seems like we're just calling his name though so often in this ball game. He's definitely putting an impact here.
3rd and 3. Reno over the middle looking for France, nearly taken away by Miles Gibson, the middle linebacker. And that is another 3rd down in which Minnesota cannot convert. They have struggled on 3rd down as of late. They are now 3 of 10.
Definitely not a stat that you want if you are Minnesota on 3rd downs.
Now out comes Platt, the punter. He punts this one away from his own 26-yard line. Manning set to go to work on the return, gets out of a tackle, and here he's still going through would-be tacklers. Finally wrestled down at the 33-yard line. Next week on Next Level Sports, 2 teams in the hunt for the playoffs will face off to better their positioning for a run when the 3-5 Portland Fleet head to Homa to take on the 5-3 Louisiana Revolution. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. For a complete channel guide, visit NLSE.com. Here's Q, back to pass, looking near side, caught. That's a good catch by DJ Bandit, the tight end, to the Minnesota 48.
Yeah, DJ Bandit, that is her first catch of the ball game on a nice little tight end corner route. Gets right past the coverage of cornerback Johnny Bravo on that route and gets a big gain of about 15-20 yards on that play.
DJ Bandit, he was a recent pickup from the Baltimore Vultures in the offseason. He's done pretty well so far here. He's got a touchdown to add in this season to add to his ledger, 2 in his career. As Brown gets the call up the gut, he only gains 2.
And Nothing that time on that run by Brown. However, he is averaging about 6 yards per carry now on the day, so a good day by him.
Left side by Brown with blockers, and Raven can't bring him down, but it's soon followed up by Mello as Brown moves the chains for the Desperados.
And just like last drive, Tulsa is starting to move the ball here once again on this one. Nice blocking to that left side, outrunning the D-line and a couple of linebackers on Minnesota until Axel Raven can catch up to him and bring him down, but not before he gets another first down inside the 35-yard line.
Q under center with 4 wide receivers in the package. With trips off to his left, they'll go with a run for Brown. Brown got away from one tackler, but Raven, who was denied earlier on the drive, Brown tackle, gets this one.
Only a 1-yard gain that time. Axel Raven staying home and making sure Brown doesn't get away from him after not allowing him to get in a big gain this time. Look for the slot this time. Nobody is covering him that time on the top of the screen.
5th play of the drive. Cued back deep to pass. Looking left side. It's batted out of the air. Incomplete. Excellent coverage as the intended receiver was Corey Jones.
And they did look to the slot. Corey Jones was in that slot position on that play. However, the safety did a good job of getting over there and applying the coverage on that play to get the pass deflection. Great job by the defense.
That brings up 3rd down from the Minnesota 33. Q will line up with 5 wide receivers.
Slot bottom.
Gonna look to pass, pumps once now over the middle, caught, first down to the 19. Sanzo Robinson involved again on one of these crucial 3rd down plays, picks up the first.
And this time, Robinson, who comes away with his 2nd catch of the day, gets a nice completion off of the all slants route to the inside. And Minnesota's had trouble covering that play for a majority of this game. And Tulsa burns them once again for another first down inside the red zone.
2 tight ends on the line to the right, 2 wideouts off to the left. Hugh in the gun with Brown. Sidecar left, looking for Brown out of the backfield. He'll turn upfield. Nice spin move, and finally wrestled down at the 14-yard line. 2nd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, and good job by Brown that time. Nice spin move back to the inside to get around the tackler, or would-be tackler, I should say, getting an extra couple of yards. 2nd down coming up.
3 wideouts here on 2nd down. Coverage backing up behind the line to gain. Hugh looking another short out route, and it is ruled incomplete to Manning at the 10.
Would that garner a challenge? I thought he dragged his toe just inside the out of bounds stripe. Let's see.
It would have to come from the sideline, of course. It'd have to come from head coach Jaden Swift, but he'll keep the red hanky in his pocket for now. Bunch off to Q's right here on 3rd down. 5-step drop, stepping up, floating it right side, but the hit forced the ball long, and Minnesota's hold firm and force a field goal.
Max Knight, who's been looking for that sack all game long, just can't get back there. He's applied pressure a couple of different times through this game. Another hit on the quarterback that time. But JQ just gets rid of the ball once again in time, and that ball flutters past the defender and goes incomplete, but a field goal attempt coming up.
Beisel snap spot, kick is up and good. From 31 yards out, it's now a 13-point lead for Tulsa. And hey, don't leave the broadcast without joining our Discord server. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community. Participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and test your skills in the survivor pool. To join our server, visit simulationfl.net and click on the Discord icon on the top banner. The SFL's community, 2,000 strong. We'll see you there. Here comes Banks on the return, finally corralled at the 25-yard line with 53 ticks to go on the game clock here in the third quarter.
Phillips who scored game for Minnesota. They just got to focus. They haven't really moved the ball past Tulsa or past their own side of the field into Tulsa territory this entire half. They just got to focus on moving the ball and getting the ball down the field.
We'll see what they can do here. Hand off Hart, near side. Hart gets a block, another block downfield maybe, and he gets past the 50-yard line of the 49. And he gains Minnesota their biggest lead on the ground all game long.
Wow. Good run to the outside, beating the defense, getting around a couple of good blocks on that left side by Hart. That is exactly what Minnesota needed to flip field and get that ball downfield, now inside Tulsa territory, just inside the midfield stripe.
So now on the Tulsa 49-yard line. Reno in a heavy set, looking for Kamasak out of the backfield, and Kamasak shoulders a man to the turf and still going. The fullback with a forearm shiver.
And now the fullback getting involved, playing inspired football, getting a shoulder check-in on a Tulsa defender. That big run by Hart, the previous play, has got this Minnesota offense playing inspired football here, late stages of the third quarter.
How can they carry the momentum into the quarter break? 10 seconds to go. Will they get one more playoff before we hit the end of the third quarter? Yes, they will. Screen, near side, Colin Hart looking for more yardage and picks up the first down as Minnesota's offense comes to life to end the third quarter. Get your fours up as Tulsa lead 23-10. Minnesota driving and hard charging back into this football game. When we come back, one final frame to go here from Lucy Red Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on NLSE.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tyler Falk and Nate Hall on the call. A special thanks to our statisticians Mark Mello and Chris Porter, and of course the commissioner Cameron Irvine, who produces each and every single game of the SFL. Swing pass left side. That's Kavasak, the fullback, again being tasked with picking up yardage. He gets 7 on the swing pass.
Yeah, last few plays on this drive, they've gone Chris Kamasak's way. Couple of big-time receptions out in the flats on this drive. This one picks up 7, now inside the red zone. Let's see if Minnesota can capitalize here.
Come out with 3 tight ends. Here on 2nd and 3 from the 17, Kamasak gets the call, gets 2 before being sat down by a familiar face we've seen pretty much all game today, Philadelphia Collins.
Yeah, Philadelphia Collins with another tackle, but a big 3rd down coming up for Minnesota here, Tyler. 3rd and 1. They've been 3 for 9 so far today on 3rd downs. Coming into today, though, they are 2nd in the league. 3rd down, 62%, but dismal here tonight.
And they convert it. They go Kamasak again, and he's denied again. When you've got Colin Hart in the backfield, they go to Kamasak.
Wow, and another stop for this Tulsa defense on 3rd down, and they go to opt for the 3 points instead of going for it on 4th down here in the 4th quarter.
We'll get to Colin Hart's stats in a minute. The 3-time All-Star Colin Hart. Mickey Malillo's kick from 31 is up and good. That'll chalk into the lead, chip into the lead. It's now a 10-point spread between Tulsa and Minnesota. Colin Hart, 10 seasons in the league. He is 3rd in total touchdowns amongst all SFL rushers. Top 10 in yards and carries. And I'm just surprised they haven't utilized him today as much.
They really haven't. Only 7 attempts for 45 yards this entire game. And he has come alive a little bit here in the second half, but not as much as we were expecting. See if we get him to go pick up a little bit here in the 4th quarter.
Comes Manning looking to the right side. His, second best return of the ball game gets him to the 31-yard line. He got the kick return touchdown way back in the 1st quarter, and he's just trying to get a second one here as they'll start the drive on the 31.
Yes, see what Tulsa does here on this drive. Minnesota, they have another defensive stop in them here. They need one here in a big way.
They're down by 10 at the moment. You looking for a quick hitter over the middle into coverage off the hill.
Whoa.
Can someone bring it in? No, they cannot. Meerkat in the area. 2nd down after the incompletion.
Man, Meerkat was back there. If you're a Minnesota fan, you just wished someone would have been back there to pick it up. Number 24 was back there, but not close enough. That was Cody Griffin. If he would have been back there a little bit quicker, he might have had the opportunity to pick it off that tip.
So that brings up 2nd and 10 here for Tulsa. Linebacker shift over to the right-hand side of the offensive formation. They will go stretch play toward the left. Brown gets clotheslined by Griffin.
Wow, Cody Griffin now with his 5th tackle of the ball game, quietly having himself a good night in the tackle category, only allowing Brown to pick up 3 yards. Big 3rd down for this Minnesota defense.
4 wideouts here for the Desperados on 3rd and 7. Q looking to throw, near side, caught, first down. That'll move the chains as Corey Jones hauls it in at the 45.
And a 3rd completion off the 6th target for Corey Jones. Looked like that was just an easy out route for Jones to run right there in front of Cody Griffin, who had that last big tackle, just couldn't cover Jones on that route. Leads to another 1st down on that play.
So back to the line come Tulsa on a new set of downs. Bunch near side with a wide receiver all alone at the top of your picture. They go with a trap play up the middle for Brown, is dragging defenders with him for a gain of 8 as Brown creeps closer and closer to the 100-yard rushing mark in the game.
Yes, he is. He is now up to, I believe, that's going to be 16 carries for 95 yards. It just seems like he gets stronger each game he goes as each game progresses.
Shotgun look here for the Desperados. Look to pass over the middle into coverage. It's bobbled and still Minnesota can't haul it in.
Wow. Another missed opportunity for a tip drill interception by Minnesota, as this time it was Johnny Bravo with the pass deflection with the opportunity for another defensive member to come up with the INT.
That brings up another third down in the drive. Can they convert again? Trips to Q's right. In the form of three receivers, trap play up the middle. Brown gets the first down and falls forward to the 42-yard line.
And when all else fails on short yardage situations on third down, just hand the ball off to the running back, Douglas Brown, who you know is going to pick up the yards that you need to move those chains. This time is no different. Now exactly at that 100-yard mark for the night.
They might look to pass here out of this shotgun look. Indeed they will. Q, right side. That's an easy interception. Bringing it back. Here come the legend. Back to their own 35-yard line. We saw 8 picks in the first half. That's our first one of the second as Bravo comes up with pick number 2.
Wow, and what an interception that time by number 33, Johnny Bravo. Count him up. That's number 3 for him in this ball game. And the tides have turned for this Minnesota team as they take over on offense.
We come back. Can Minnesota capitalize on the turnover? It's 23-13, Tulsa in the lead. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium. Johnny Bravo has a hat trick in interceptions. Can the Legend offense capitalize on that turnover? As Reno looking deep over the middle and he nearly gives it right as a sea of green and rust was in the area. And just like that, we want to remind you, APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. They can put a tune to how many Chris Komisak, fullback dives there been today. He has been the bell cow, but unfortunately the yards just haven't been there on the ground for the fullback.
No, they really haven't. That's 10 attempts now by him for only 8 yards, less than a yard per carry average, and just tough sledding by him all game long.
And it's been forcing these third and mediums, third and longs here for the Minnesota offense. 5 wide receivers in the formation, pass over the middle, one-handed snag to move the chains. Impeccable reception from Quag Mam.
Yeah, and if there's one improvement that there has been made here in the second half, it's been the offensive line of Minnesota. They've given Reno more of a chance to get the ball off and find his open receivers downfield.
Spread the field again, fullback and halfback, nowhere to be seen this time. As Reno's going to look to throw over the middle. That is caught by Jason Fretz. That'll again move the chains to Tulsa's 39.
And very unusual that we haven't called France more often in this game. France only a second completion after that catch, 2 completions in this game for 26 yards. He has been targeted 4 times, but he usually gets more looks in a ball game than this.
He'll come out, flexed out to the right-hand side. Will the tight end France, offside behind the quarterback Reno. Reno quick drop, stepping up, looking over the middle. Nice touch on the football. That's caught. And again, back-to-back first downs, and it's Jason France again.
And now Jason France is cooking here on this drive with back-to-back receptions. Now inside the 25-yard line, moving the ball nicely is Minnesota. Let's see if they can capitalize.
France on the right side, Bacigalupe, the other tight end on the left side. Under pressure, diving attempt by Simons, and Simons couldn't haul it in. As we get an update on Lee Palmer, who had one of the interceptions earlier. He's down and out.
Yeah, that's going to be a loss here for Tulsa the rest of this ball game. However, that defensive pressure almost got to the quarterback and probably led to the last incompletion there on that last play.
2nd and 10 now, and Lee Palmer will hopefully be rested up and good to go next week. Pass near side, excellent block, just in time. Hart scoots away, and what a play from Minnesota. Nate, I hope you caught who that blocker was, because he just saved that play from going backward.
Oh, I really hope we get a replay of this, because that was an excellent seal block on that side of the formation. Oh, just a nice play right there made by the offensive lineman on that play. Oh, 72. I want to see who that was. Number 72 for Minnesota.
Number 73, Birch McGregor, partner,
there it
on
is.
the right-hand side.
Oh, wow.
A drive-saving block if I ever saw one. 1st and goal now from the 8-yard line. They'll run it with Hart. And Hart gets taken down by his kneecaps behind the line. It's a loss of about 2. David Ware in the backfield for the first time today.
And a nice tackle for loss made by him. But going back to that last play, you love to see an offensive lineman get out there and kick block like that out in the open.
I'm thankful we have statisticians Mark Mello and Chris Porter. His 2nd tackle for loss for Ware today. 1 away from 30 in his career. Pass, middle, into coverage.
Oh.
It's the turf. Miles Gibson did a good job of selling that one, but it is incomplete.
Miles Gibson with his 3rd pass deflection of the ball game. Oh, for all practical purposes, should have been intercepted back there at the end zone. And Minnesota, Reno got away with one right there to give you guys another chance here on 3rd down.
10th play of the drive, which has spanned over 3 minutes already. 3rd and goal now from the 10. Reno, just a dump off left side for Hart, has to make him do all of it. Can only get to the 9-yard line, and a field goal ain't the worst at this point, but you would have loved to get the touchdown out of the way on this drive.
You really would have, but they are going to send Melillo out here to get the field goal out of the way. They are going to need one to bring this within 1 score. Time is starting to become a factor. This defense needs to tighten up on this next pursuing Tulsa drive.
Here's Melillo. from 25.5 yards out. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good from 25. Just over 4 minutes to go. It's a 7-point ball game, 23-16.
And we've already seen one pick six in the ball game by Minnesota, who has yet to score a touchdown offensively. They've got 3 field goals.
Minnesota need a good bounce on the onside kick. It was called in perfectly by the hands team at Tulsa. They'll start on the Minnesota 39-yard line. The gamble doesn't pay off. Now they got 4 minutes to try and hold Tulsa out of field goal range.
Maybe a little bit too early to try to go for the onside kick there, but nonetheless, their defense has to step up right here in a big way with 4 minutes left.
High formation here on 1st and 10. We'll probably see a lot of Douglas Brown up the middle. Yes. First carry, about maybe 2 or 3 yards. No, only a gain of 1, says the referees. As we go back to Houston, did Motor City make a dent into that lead, Cam?
No. Houston dominating today. Even Mike St. Green's catching passes from the backup. This is his 3rd of the day in the back. Well, that was... someone's going to get fired. 52-17. Houston leads Mexico City. It's all Houston. You know the drill. Back to you guys.
So Houston, we don't have a problem. That's good to know. 23-16 here in Tulsa as Brown gets the call, but the legend are at him at a heartbeat.
And a good tackle for loss made that time in the backfield by Angela Meerkat. That time from her defensive end position.
Now brings up 3rd down as Tulsa trying to milk as much clock as possible, but they need about 4 yards to get into Beisel field goal range. They're going to need some yards. They might look to the air here on 3rd and 10 from their own 39, from Minnesota's 39-yard line. They'll go on the ground, up the middle. Brown is right there at the 34. So the run works for now.
Yeah, for now, but I think that was still a missed opportunity by Tulsa. I was looking at that formation. Minnesota came out on defense with only 2 secondary members on the top of the formation to 3 receivers at that side of the formation. Somebody was going to be mismatched. Missed opportunity, but that's going to lead to a field goal opportunity here for Brooke Beisel.
This will be the longest of the ball game. 51 yards out from right about right hash when we come back. 2 minutes to go. Can Minnesota come back and maybe can they block a field goal? We'll find out. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on NLSE. Back in Tulsa, Oklahoma, after the icing via the 2-minute warning, can Beisel remain confident from this 51-yard attempt from near the right hash? Snap, spot, kick is away. It is up and it is through the uprights and good. It's back out to a 10-point lead. Tulsa 26, Minnesota 16. Stick around after the game. We'll send it back to SFL Studios where Cameron Irvine will give his thoughts on the Minnesota-Tulsa result and preview next week's Next Level SFL Showcase game, Portland versus Louisiana. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music post-game update. So Minnesota will have a minute 56 to make a 10-point comeback and add a little bit of revenge to the loss they suffered at the hands of Tulsa last season. And Banks gets all the way out to the 26-yard line, and so they'll have a minute 51 to get 10 points.
Yeah, you just wonder, for a Minnesota team and an offense who hasn't mustered drives any better than ending in field goals all game long, if that field goal by Tulsa the last drive was a backbreaker, and we'll see what Minnesota does here on this pursuing drive.
DB's playing bump coverage on the 4 wide receivers. Reno's going to look to throw, looking near side. That is caught by Simons. Near midfield, he's out of bounds at the 49-yard line of Minnesota.
Simons, who only had one reception before this for 70 yards, gets a big one right here to get the drive started all the way out to near the 45-yard line. Great start. I'm sorry, near the midfield stripe, I should say. Good start to this drive as they approach midfield.
Now can they keep it rolling? Just a yard behind the midfield stripe. Bunch set near side. One man atop the formation all alone. Again, Tulsa will play bump coverage. Reno looks near side. That's France, and France gets knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Another first down, another play that stops the clock.
Great job. Nice clock management. We didn't see this kind of clock management at the end of the first half, which kind of left our heads scratching a little bit, but a lot better clock management so far here, the first 10 seconds or so of this drive.
We'll go back to the first play of the drive and flip the trips set off to the top of the screen. Reno going to look to throw again. Looking left side, wide open receiver caught upfield. And again knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Excellent 2-minute drill from Minnesota. That one's hauled in by Matson.
Yeah, Matson's up there for the nice reception. Goes out of bounds to stop the clock once again. This time inside the 30-yard line. Nice out route up there. Travis Arthur couldn't get up there in time to stop it with the pass deflection. Nice movement. Nice ball movement. Nice job to stop the clock.
And they'll flip the trips again, this time near side. 1st and 10 from the Tulsa 27. Reno going to look to throw. Deep over the middle. Caught at the 1-yard line. Minnesota calls a timeout. Jake Taylor with the post route connection.
Wow. Textbook clock management. If you're looking for pointers and clock management to get how to do it in this league, right here on this drive is what you need to look for. Minnesota just capped off that play by a nice throw from Reno down to Taylor, now to the 1-yard line. Let your guy Hart get this one in the end zone.
Might go with Komisak. No, pass over the middle. Pick off! Oh, what a pick! Climbing the ladder for Tulsa to save the ball game was Marco Swift, and Swift with a Swifty three-peat of interceptions today.
Oh, why? Why on earth would you throw it from the 1-yard line when you've got Colin Hart, who we stated has been such a workhorse in this league for 10 seasons? Just to hand the ball off to him, or even Komisak back there from the 1-yard line. But no, you throw it from the 1-yard line and give the perfect opportunity for Marco Swift to come away with his 3rd interception of this game. And for all practical purposes, seal this one for Tulsa to come away with the win, pending any kind of crazy comeback within this last minute and a half.
Douglas Brown got the carry on first down for 7 yards, and I have to draw comparisons, and you have to draw comparisons. That sounded exactly like the Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl call from all those years ago, and oh my goodness, Tulsa going to probably walk out of here with the victory if they can just get a first down, which they do. Nice moves from Brown. That's the first down out to the 41-yard line. Minnesota burns their final timeout. It won't matter. Tulsa is going to, for now, take the outright lead in the Central Division, moving to 7-2.
Yeah, nice spin move to the inside. Brown goes inside the tackle attempt by the defender for Minnesota. Douglas Brown will go up to 125 yards on 22 attempts. Just absolutely broke out in the second half. Didn't get any touchdowns, or got one touchdown this game, there in the third quarter. All they're gonna have to do is take a couple of knees here to close this one out, and as you stated, take the Central Division lead with only 3 games to go in the rest of this season 20 schedule. And as we take a look at the rest of the season 20 schedule for these two teams, Minnesota's got Jacksonville at home next week, and Tulsa has Seattle at home next week.
Those both should be excellent football games to come, as Q will go ahead and bring down one more knee, which should see us to the end of the football game, and that will put them in front of Minnesota and Indianapolis, who is 6-3. Not Sioux Falls, like I mentioned, to begin the football game today. I apologize for that, but what a game today. Minnesota's offense held out of the end zone today by Tulsa's defense, and Tulsa able to come away with the game despite throwing 6 interceptions from JQ. They will come and take home victory 26-16 here from Lucy Red Stadium. It's gone final. Tulsa is your victors here today. And that will do it for us. We'll send it back to SFL Studios in Cameron Irvine to break down what just happened. Till then, for all of us here, it's good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Douglas Brown, your official player of the game, as the Tulsa Desperados take out the Minnesota Legend and claim first place in the Central for now. 7-2, Tulsa now firmly in 5th place of the SFL standings. What a victory for these Desperados. They are having their best season since their inaugural season when they went 9-3, had an early playoff exit there, but they could be championship contenders this season. Here's the biggest test for Tulsa. They haven't played any of the top 4 teams. No Vegas, no Atlanta, no Baltimore, no Arizona on their schedule. Minnesota, their highest quality win, but the Legend beat Atlanta, so Tulsa looks pretty legit to me with 3 games left in this season. They've got Seattle left. They're going to take on Indianapolis at the end of the season, so that's going to be a really interesting game. So, yeah, Minnesota and Tulsa, wow. What can you say about the Desperados? On the Minnesota side, there's a common denominator about games that they've lost this season. It's when their offense has struggled. That could be the difference between them having an early exit like they did in last season's playoffs, or if they're able to do something more with it in the postseason against some of the tougher opponents in the SFL. So that's a wrap. Tulsa gets the victory on that. Just a quick look at how that will affect the standings. Tulsa's going to go to 5th at 7-2. Minnesota's going to slide into the bunch of of wild card teams behind London and Fort Worth, so that will drop them to at least 8th. They will be in a tie with Indy and Mexico City. We'll have to check SOVs on that, although Minnesota did beat Indy earlier this season, so they do have that tiebreaker if it applies. But that's how that looks. But Tulsa hoping for a Vegas, Atlanta, Baltimore slip up somebody, and who knows, we could be talking about a first-round bye for these Desperados. It's been an amazing season for the boys and girls in teal and rust for Tulsa. So that wraps that up for today's action in the SFL Saturday Showcase on Next Level Sports. Tonight on SFL YouTube, you can watch Portland take on Seattle. You can watch Carolina take on San Diego in a battle of 2 teams just on the outside looking in of the playoffs. And you can check us out next week on Next Level Sports when the Louisiana Revolution take on the Portland Fleet. Portland is 3-5. They are 2 games back, or a game and a half back in the Pacific. Louisiana is 5-3. They are 2 games back in the East. But they have Atlanta tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. on SFL YouTube. So both those teams are going to be in playoff mode next weekend right here on Next Level Sports. Can't wait to be here for that one. For all of us at the SFL, thanks to Chris Porter, Mark Mello, Tyler Falk, Nate Hall, our production crew today, yours truly here, and everyone that's involved in making the SFL go. 20th season, week 11, 4 weeks to go in the regular season, or 3 weeks and change if you want to get technical, and it's going to be another great playoff push down the stretch. Tulsa gets the victory over Minnesota today, 23-13. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next week right here on NLSE.